I stood up, my eyes were completely white, and I threw up dirt.
The witch had felt my baby's energy, and she wanted it.
There's one place in particular that seems to be especially afflicted by the paranormal, and many entities that we would never, ever want to encounter.
Where are we going today, Corinne?
Mexico!
Yeah, we are. Hi.
Hi.
We're here.
This feels weird, but different. But maybe we'll read better.
But I kind of like it.
It's like when you switch up your seat in school and then like everything is worse.
Oh, I don't think I ever had that experience. I love changing things up. Like I love a good reorg, moving things around.
Oh, I thought you meant in school because I would get so frustrated when you'd go to class and you'd have the same seat for like 8 classes in a row. And then the next class, someone just sat in your seat. You're like, what are you doing? No one else is changing seats.
They were changing it up.
Maybe that was a light way of bullying me. I'm not sure. Was I targeted? Or did people just get confused?
Or maybe they wanted to change it up. Like we are changing it up today. Kinda, not really. But we have a really spooky theme. It is November, meaning that the spookiest season has kind of wrapped up. But we decided to do one very extra spooky topic starting November.
I guess you could argue that all of our topics are spooky because literally all of them touch on the paranormal.
That's true.
But there's one place in particular that seems to be especially afflicted by the paranormal and many entities that we would never, ever want to encounter.
Where are we going today, Corinne?
Mexico!
Yeah, we are. We asked for your stories from Mexico, and you all delivered, so thank you. Also, I don't think we introduced ourselves.
Oh, this is Two Girls, One Ghost.
Two Girls, One Ghost. And we are your ghostesses. That is Corinne.
Hello.
I am Sabrina, and I have a PSL.
Nice. What do I have?
I'm a big old BPS.
Big old beach. We're gonna bring that
big pumpkin slut.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's see what Brian got me. We had a rough evening with the child, so I woke up to coffee ordered for me.
It's very nice.
I also have an iced pumpkin latte with added shots of espresso.
I got an extra shot too.
I like said that like he knows me so well, but as I was about to say that, I tried to open my eyes, but one eye opened before the other, so I was like, hasn't hit yet.
We're moving slow. Okay, well, with that being said,
good
I'll
morning,
start.
or good evening.
Good morrow.
We're traveling to Mexico, and now we've landed.
Oh, wow. We teleported. That was so quick. So glad we're here. Okay, I'm going to start with a story about how witches from Mexico try to steal our listener's baby.
Nightmare.
This is from our listener, Lolly. And Lolly says, I have been binge watching your podcast for the past 2 months, and I am loving it. I love everything spooky and paranormal, and I've had a couple of experiences, but this one experience truly shook me, and I still, to this day, cannot wrap my head around it. Okay, so this all connects back to one thing, the witches of Juventino Rosas. Backstory, I'm from the US, but I'm very connected to my roots in Mexico. The town that my family and I are from is called Juventino Rosas, and it is known for the witches that live there. It is said that these witches appear in the sky at night in the form of a bright red ball of fire, as well as in the form of a lechuza or an owl. Yeah. When I was 16, while on vacation in Juventino, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, I left my home and my family to move in with my now husband. After my parents left back to the US, my husband and I started renting my parents' house and lived there for a while. My husband would work long hours, oftentimes leaving me home alone all day and wouldn't come home until 10 p.m. Despite this, I never felt anything negative there other than normal jitters because I'm a very easily spooked person. At about 3 months after living there, I became pregnant. But I was unaware that I was pregnant when this first incident happened. My husband and I were both asleep. And because of the heat and not having central AC, we would leave the windows open at night to let the cool breeze in. I'm a bit claustrophobic, so I hate sleeping on the side of the bed that's against the wall, and I would always sleep facing the window. So it's around 3 a.m. Yes, I know, scary timing. My husband awoke to the sound of a lechuza screeching right outside the window. When he turned to look at it, he realized it was staring straight at me.
Ew.
He was paralyzed with fear and just laid there watching it for 15 full minutes as it truly the entire time stared at me while I slept until finally it flew away. He says that it physically looked like any other owl, but the vibes he got were terrible. Like it was unnatural. And the way that this thing moved and its eyes never left my face and it never even looked or seemed to notice my husband staring at it felt very, very supernatural. It is said that in my neighborhood lives the strongest witch and that this witch is very evil and malicious.
Oh my gosh.
I want to do research into this, like the witches of Juventino.
Right. Ooh, do they have to disclose this when you look for a house in this neighborhood?
I mean, do they even like reveal their identities?
Oh, yeah. Is this just a rumor?
It probably is just a rumor.
Or is there like a certain house where you're like, the witch lives there?
I don't know. But so after this experience, I started getting very depressed and drained. It was as if I was no longer myself and I had no emotions other than pure emptiness. A week after that incident is when we found out I was pregnant. So I just summed it up to feeling the toll of pregnancy that it was taking on my body. But after a month, I could no longer take all of what I was feeling and I decided to go back to the US for a while. As soon as I got away from that town, I instantly felt better. It was like a switch had turned on inside of me and I no longer felt anything of what I had felt during that past month. When I was around 7 months pregnant, I decided to go back to Mexico to visit my husband and spend time with him before I delivered. This also happened to be the month of October. Big mistake. I had no idea I was about to experience one of the most terrifying incidents yet. We were staying with my mother-in-law for most of my visit, but her house was located on the outskirts of the town with no cell service and no Wi-Fi. I was still attending online classes, so I had to get some work done, which is why I decided to spend one night at his aunt's house that was closer to the heart of the town because she had Wi-Fi as well. And this house was spooky. Like immediately it gave me bad vibes, but I just brushed it off. The room we were going to sleep in was the one room no one wanted to stay in. Not even the dog wanted to go in there. That should have been enough for me to turn the hell back and run out of there, but unfortunately I did not. So my husband and I lay down for bed and fell asleep. And around 3 a.m., again, very spooky timing, I woke my husband so that he could help me to the bathroom because, man, I was already so out of breath, I could barely walk at this point in my pregnancy. On our way to the bathroom, I noticed that his cousin's bedroom door was closed and his aunt's door was wide open, but I didn't look inside. I went about my business and we walked back to the bedroom and lay down. The moment I laid down, I felt this very powerful feeling of dread, fear, hopelessness, and dark negativity consume me.
Oh my God.
I felt like the already dark room got darker and one specific corner of the room was even darker and it radiated bad vibes. I felt so badly that I decided to play a rosary on my phone because fear had stunned my memory. For the life of me, I could not remember my prayers.
Honestly, that's genius. I don't think I would have ever thought to do that. I'd just be like, oops,
But
I'm out of luck.
The moment I start playing it, the Wi-Fi stopped working. Coincidence? I think not.
No, definitely not.
I start panicking because that horrible feeling was getting worse and worse by the second. And at that moment, my husband turned to face me and instantly asked, "Are you feeling it too?" He looked so afraid and I instantly lost it and started crying. And I begged for it to stop, that consuming negativity leave me alone. And at that moment, as I said that sentence, the doorknob starts shaking aggressively. And then at the same time, we could see the light under the door getting brighter and brighter, so much so that it felt like it was hot. I could no longer take it. I grabbed for my phone. I called my husband's cousin crying, and she rushed to the room to see what happened. When she got there, we told her everything, and she instantly believed us. And at that moment, her mom walked in and said, "It's okay. I already told it to leave."
Wow.
Backstory. My husband's aunt had been possessed before, like full-on face transforming, voice changing, sounding like the demon voices in the movies possessed.
Are you sure you guys want to live in this town?
Right. During that time, only she and her mom and dad were allowed to be in the home because of how unpredictable she was moment to moment.
Oh my gosh, that's really scary.
At that time, my mother-in-law was pregnant with my husband, and despite everyone begging her not to go into the house, she felt bad and concerned for her sister, and she went for a visit to help and bathe her sister, my husband's aunt. As my mother-in-law was brushing her sister's hair and they were talking, her sister said something rude, and when my mother-in-law asked why she would say that to her, my husband's aunt, her head spins all the way around to look straight up into my mother-in-law's face. My mother-in-law said it was not her sister's face, and there was no way her head could have turned around at that speed, at that position, without having broken her neck. Oh, it's so The Exorcist.
Yeah, I hate that.
At that point, the thing spoke to my mother-in-law in that scary, deep voice and insulted her and her unborn child, my husband.
Oh, this is giving me like flashbacks to watching The Omen.
My mother-in-law ran out instantly, and she was okay other than being extremely scared and shaken up. Unfortunately, when my husband was born 2 months later, the doctors discovered that he had heart problems, and that was the start of many surgeries for my husband. Everyone believes that whatever had possessed his aunt's body and soul had hurt him and left that impact on him.
It's horrible, but that makes a bit of sense to me too, because when you were describing like the neck turning and it like seems like it should snap, how does it not?
That
just because there's
crazy.
And I feel like this is why some people do die, and like death is the ultimate goal sometimes of these, well, maybe all the time, of these exorcisms and possessions. But how does someone survive their head whipping like that? Like your spine and your body is still the same, is it not?
You would think. I don't know. It's just like defying all reality. This was very bad, to say the least, and it took a full-on exorcism to get his aunt back, but she was left with a gift. This gift being that she can see and speak to beings that are no longer here amongst the living. I have my personal feelings about her. I don't know if I can trust her, and she scares me. But so she walks into this room and said that she dealt with it, but I felt really scared of her. No one had called her, and we were barely speaking over a whisper. So how did she know what was happening? How did she know to come in that exact moment? And the moment she said that everything was okay and she told it to leave, my daughter started moving around in my room. And I realized she had not moved at all up until this point. Finally, his aunt explained to us that behind her home lived a witch and that the witch had felt my baby's energy and she wanted it. That is when my husband's aunt confronted the entity and told it to leave and that it was not going to get what it wanted. My husband later told me that when we had walked past her room to go to the bathroom, he saw his aunt sitting up in her bed talking to someone. And that her eyes were glowing red.
I was so hoping in my mind, like, maybe the witch is misunderstood. Maybe the witch felt the negative energy and was trying to protect the child. But like, literally, there's nothing to indicate such. Like, this is just horrific.
It's terrifying. I still don't know if it was just the witch or some other entity or both, but needless to say, I left that town as soon as possible in fear that I and my baby could be hurt by something. Fast forward to when my baby was around 6 months old, my family and I decided it was time to baptize my daughter and for my husband to finally meet her because he was still in Mexico. We made the trip to Mexico and everything was fine until one night the activity started up again. For context, my bed is probably like 4 feet above the ground. It's pretty tall. And we would sleep sideways in order to fit comfortably, and my husband and I made it a point to make sure our feet would be in contact at the middle of the mattress to try to avoid our daughter accidentally falling, even though at that point, my daughter was not crawling yet, and she'd always been a very easy baby. So I woke up at around 5 a.m., and I realized our baby was not on the bed with us. I looked toward our feet, and sure enough, they were the exact same way we've always slept, where they're connected. How could she have gotten over us? I instantly woke my husband up and we start looking everywhere for my baby and we found her laying on the ground awake. I quickly scooped her up and began checking her for injuries. Nothing. Then I realized she wasn't even crying.
Lifted up and placed on the ground.
So the next night, out of fear, we decided to place the mattress on the floor and I lined up all the pillows in a way that if she were to fall, she would land on a pillow. I had a hard time falling asleep that night, but finally, I fell asleep. I woke up again. My baby was not on the bed. This time, she was on the floor, perfectly placed by my husband's head, fast asleep, peaceful. I grabbed her, I checked on her, and I realized that all the pillows I had placed down were untouched and unmoved. In this town, there are many stories of this happening and of babies disappearing or being found on the floor or even under the bed or even in a different room. And it is said that it is the witch's attempt at taking the babies.
Oh my gosh.
That next day, we had my baby baptized and never had a single experience like this ever again.
Oh, I would never. Oh my gosh. Sleep in shifts.
My family and I strongly believe that the witches of Juventino Rosas tried to take my baby and that they wanted her from the moment I became pregnant. That owl knew I was pregnant and had been watching me ever since. I still feel very uneasy when I remember these incidents, and I really hope to never experience anything like this again. Thank you so much for reading. I love you guys and everything you do. Stay spooky and see you on the other side. And hopefully on this side too one day. From Lolly.
Lolly, that's horrifying. And I understand that family lives where they live, but like, gotta get out.
I mean, Lolly literally lives in the US. I don't know how the situation is now while her husband's in Mexico to protect her baby. Like, props to you.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So scary.
It's so intense too.
I know. Sometimes when we read these stories, especially from Mexico, I think also like the Philippines and certain places where I'm like, it feels like the reality is paranormal.
Yeah.
And that reality feels so different than ours.
I also almost think it's kind of like, it's like Santa Claus. Like the more people believe in Santa Claus, the more power Santa has. I feel like because we live in the US and there's so many different combinations of cultures and religions and beliefs, I feel like when there's a much larger concentration of people believing in the same thing, it gives more power to that sort of magic.
Yeah, and
that's why things get so much stronger, and it almost feels unbelievable to us because we're like, well, why is that not in my neighborhood? Like, why don't I hear about that in Massachusetts?
We've got the Mod Podge in the
US.
It's
because of Mod Podge.
But I also feel like I wonder if, going off of that, like, because if these witches have been around for such a long time, like, and they've stayed in the same neighborhood, in the same town, and then it's been passed down generation after generation, and it's like continuing. It's just like this building on top of one another.
But like, why is it bad?
Why can't we like give little kisses to the baby in bed?
Right. Like, I want it to be like a practical magic style where it's like the aunts are witchy and they heal people, and it's like
midnight margaritas.
Why can't you be that type of witch? And here's our plea to these witches, these descendants. Time to break the generational curse.
Snaps to breaking generational curses.
Yeah, be a good witch.
Why do they want to steal babies? Like,
I know.
Baby snatching is not cool.
It's actually
just so uncool.
Kind of never been cool.
In any place, any world.
It's very loser-ish.
Yeah, like, don't be a loser. But I also feel bad. I'm like nervous to call them losers.
I'm not.
We're not. We respect you, but we don't agree with your methods.
Don't take the babies.
Leave the baby alone. Okay.
I don't think they listen.
I don't think they do.
Also, this is, again, like, maybe I'm playing with fire and have a little cockiness. I just feel like we have so many really amazing and powerful people in our community that I do feel a sense of like us and our listeners being protected in many ways.
For sure.
Where it's like, you mess with, I feel like we see it on campfire stories all the time where someone's like, this is happening to me. Can people please like give me energy or like good vibes or whatever? And things resolve.
Right.
And I do feel like if there's enough energy and attention, like if something were to happen directed at us or someone else.
Yeah. We become a badass community. The other day I was joking. I was like, should we become Etsy witches? And you're like, we're not powerful enough. And I was like, no, we harness the community of 2 girls, 1 ghost. So basically we get paid to harness your energy.
You said that because my friend, the Kelseys, had an Etsy witch give them perfect weather on their wedding weekend. Well, similar vein, when your pop fucks with witches.
Pop.
Okay, this is from A. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and this story happened before I was born to my parents in their town in Mexico, but it still affects my mom and I to this day. Before my mom got married to my pops was a Don John. I don't know how he got my mom to marry him. Wait, what's a Don John?
What's a Don John?
Okay, well, there's a rom-com. Okay, I think that there's a character named Don John.
Okay.
And basically the characteristics of this person is like calculating, untrustworthy, unpleasant. So basically her dad was the worst, maybe.
Okay. But he hopefully evolved. That's why her mom gave him a shot. We'll find out.
I'm not sure. Okay. So my pops was a Don John. We just learned what that was.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got my mom to marry him, to be honest. Anyway, during one of his adventures, he ended up messing around with the wrong person. This lady, let's call her the Vulture, was known to be a witch.
I don't know how the story plays out yet, but I love her name, the Vulture. Okay, I'll sit back and also shut up.
I'm already on the witch's side as of right now in the story, given the initial description of her dad. Just like,
the only thing I'm not on the side with is that our listener prefaced saying that it's still impacting her mom and her.
True. She was known to make potions and powders to make people stay with you and be devoted to you. Okay, so she's ripping free will from people. So maybe we're not on the witch's side. The people she did this to, who you met, who were just so devoted to their wives, they all had this sort of glazed look over their eyes, like they weren't really there. When I asked how she did this, my mom's sister would say that she would tell the ladies to bring their period blood. She would mix it with herbs and the man's favorite drink and have them drink it without knowing.
I mean, just putting like what's about to happen aside and the taking away free will, that's sick.
Well, gross. Like, put it on your face, but not drink it.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yuck.
Like, what a cool magical spell.
To be like, here's the insides of my uterus.
Yeah.
No, drink it.
Yeah.
Well, some people drink the blood of Christ. Why not drink our uterine linings?
Why not?
Okay. The vulture was said to have fallen in love with my dad. It was well known that she tried everything to try to keep him, but I suppose my mom's pure intention and love was much stronger than whatever she had brewed. He was my mom's first and only everything. And on my mom's wedding day, while she was getting out of the car, the vulture came up to her and started yelling out loud. Okay, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but contigo no pude hacer nada, pero con tus hijos sí. With you, I may not have been able to harm you, but with your children, I will.
Okay, no longer a fan of the vulture.
No. My mom said that she remained calm as she watched her sisters remove this lady from the church. Also, my dad was 2 hours late to the wedding. No one knew where he was. The wedding happened. My mother became pregnant with her first child. And when my sister was born, a few months later, she died in her sleep.
Oh my God.
A few days before her death, she would cry and cry and cry. And doctors couldn't find anything wrong with her, but my mom says that the lady's face would pop into her mind once her daughter passed.
I hate the vulture.
Right?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
2 years later, my mom was pregnant again, this time with my eldest brother. During this time, my dad's brother gave my mom some chocolate, and once my mom ate it, he stated, quote, "The vulture sends her regards."
Wait, that's crazy. Ew. Oh,
I know. I have chills.
Well, also just knowing what the vulture does, like, I feel like she put some type of like trance on the dad's brother.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like anyone's willingly choosing to be buddy-buddy with the vulture.
What is wrong with this lady?
Maybe look inward.
Take some time. Take a beat.
Go to trauma treatment.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Therapy, perhaps.
Yeah.
Stop collecting your period blood. Just let it go into the bowl.
Let it flow.
Let it flow. Okay. My mom said that when he said this, a coldness started from her feet and went up her whole body. It consumed her. She told my uncle, "Look, Elle, if anything happens to my baby, it will be on your conscience." My uncle then laughed, then saw my mom's facial expression and realized she was not messing around. And so then he started apologizing profusely. And still to this day, my mom has a lot of trouble eating chocolate because of this experience.
Yeah, that would be traumatizing.
Yeah. 2 months after that, a priest from Mexico City came to bless new families. However, my mom says that when it was their turn, the priest touched her belly, sighed heavily and sadly, and then stated, "This child already belongs to God." What a cruel thing to say to someone who is pregnant. This is traumatizing.
But is it true?
He then grabbed my mom's shoulders and told her that she needed to be strong. My mom said she broke into full body chills when the priest said that. A month after that, my brother was born, stillborn. He never even cried out.
Fuck the vulture. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm speechless.
I know.
It's
It's
heartbreaking.
horrible. My mom finally got permission to come to the USA, and my 2 brothers before me were born healthy and happy and very much alive.
Good.
They would go to Mexico every 8 months and spend about 2 to 3 months there. However, before I was born, my mom found out that my dad was once again befriending the vulture, and my mom was planning on splitting up with him. My mom, super hurt because she blamed the witch for my eldest 2 siblings' deaths.
Yeah.
My dad's father talked to him, and he asked my mom for forgiveness, and then they decided to stay together. When the witch heard of this, she went to my dad's parents' house one day and asked my dad to stay with her. My dad's siblings are assholes. They didn't like my mom because she was darker skinned than them, and they saw this as beneath them. My dad said that he couldn't, and he didn't want to stay with the vulture. And that is when this witch got utterly pissed off and said to him, quote, "One day I will hurt you with what you love the most, and that day you will never forget me."
I have no words. My heart hurts.
Like, if this were Stevie Nicks saying it, I'd be like, yes, girl. But it's the
But this
vulture,
is
and
like-
she's evil, and she's a murderer.
Yeah. And she has no remorse.
No.
And she's just
And she
taking.
keeps doing it.
She's taking and taking and taking.
Also, like, come on. Stop being so obsessed with someone. If they don't like you, they don't like
They
you.
don't move on. No is
Find
no
someone
means
who
no.
does like you. There will be someone.
She's for sure losing her hair, right? Like, she looks like Schmeagol.
I hope so. But she probably projects herself a different way. Or maybe
God.
she's stealing babies to continue her youthfulness. When my parents decided to try again, I was conceived in Mexico, and the plan was that I would be the first child to be born in Mexico. My mom said she didn't know what my biological sex was. She wanted it to be a surprise. Anyway, at about 7.5 months pregnant, my mom began to get sick. I was a child who would constantly move and kick her, but that month in Mexico, I'd become completely still. My mom would go to the doctors, and they would tell her that my heartbeat was faint, but that I was still alive. So my mom was having none of this. She told my dad that she was coming back to LA. She was going to have me in the US. My dad was mad. He refused to come with her. She didn't care. She jumped in a cab, then on a plane, and then she came here, and she had me.
The fuck, Dad?
As soon as she landed, she said, I started going crazy. I was moving, I was kicking, and this was the happiest pain of her life.
It's similar to like Lolly's story where the second she left that town,
Mhm.
she felt like everything
Free.
got better.
A week or two later, my dad came to join her. Lo and behold, a month or so later, I was born. My mom said she never thought that she was going to see the day where my dad looked at someone with such love and tenderness as when he saw me.
Oh.
I was healthy and happy, and my dad just never wanted to let go of me. Up to this date, my dad and I are pretty close. Okay, sorry to your father. I think I said some insulting things along the way. But I wasn't sure where this was going, and I feel like he was placating the Vulture a little too much.
Yeah. I think ultimately our disdain is for the Vulture.
Yes. Though I did find out some things in 2013. I didn't talk to him for a whole year. Okay. Mixed feelings.
Daddy issues. Woo-woo. I'm sorry. I'm just like, in the comments, drop like a woo-woo for daddy issues.
Who's your daddy? I'll be one.
Crit is your daddy. Crit is daddy. Crit is mommy. I'm just baby. Because I need to reparent my inner
I
child.
don't yet have mommy and daddy issues, but maybe in my next life.
Or you worked through them all in your
maybe
past
I already
life.
had them.
Yeah.
Shout out to Deb and Belle. Thanks for being you. Anyway, I was born in January, so my first visit to Mexico was in June. She said that as soon as people found out that we were there, a big human-looking owl would stand on a tree branch right outside the window and make chit, 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 and whistling sounds.
Who the fuck
It
could
would
that
also
be?
coo, and she said that this would sound like a human. A week after my first visit, I got super sick with a super high fever, and I would not stop crying. My mom said that this was a complete flashback to her first ever baby. The doctors didn't know what was wrong. All my vitals were good except for my escalating fever. They wanted to hospitalize me, but my mom refused. She had my dad just take us, drive us 2 hours to the airport, and they didn't let us on because I looked sick, but my mom pleaded and prayed, and after a few hours, they did let her get on a plane. My mom said as soon as she got here, she hailed a cab, took me to the ER. She hopped on the plane with no luggage, just my baby supplies and birth certificate. However, on her way to the ER, my fever went down. I was cooing, I was suddenly eating, I was suddenly healthy again. She did take me to the hospital still, and the doctor said I was totally fine.
I have like goosies.
Like, don't go back to Mexico. Sorry, like if this is happening to you,
Right.
like at least not with your children. They can't be there. Or they can't be in this area.
This is wild.
My mom's mom would bless me every single year after that when we did go to Mexico. Okay, so they kept going back. My grandma was super awesome. She had these empathic abilities and she could see and talk to spirits. Stories about that later. Anyway, my dad's dad passed away in January 2013. So my mom, understanding my dad's concern to not leave his mom alone, let him go and stay with her for a full year. But he did not last a year there. When my younger brother and I went to Mexico in June, apparently my dad was telling everyone that he and my mom got divorced. Then this lady, who was the mother of a middle-aged woman who was apparently dating my father now, asked how I liked my new mommy and if I was ready for her to move into our house. I felt this fiery dragon-like rage rise in my chest. I looked at my dad in utter disgust. He looked panicked and he didn't know where to turn. So I told the lady, my mom and I would have to be dead before anyone enters that house. I'm guessing they took this as a threat or maybe as a challenge. Because that same year, a big black dog started following me everywhere. It would pop up in the strangest places and just trot along. I didn't mind. Street dogs are treated badly here, so I did see it as my companion. However, one day when I was with my grandma from my mom's side, she came to hug me and the dog went rabid. It growled, it bared its teeth, it tried to attack my grandma. I yelled at it to stop.
The grandma who's also been doing all the blessings and protective stuff.
Good grandma. I yelled at it to stop, and my grandma, such a badass, brought with her her walking stick. She brought it steadily up and dropped it down to the dirt and said, Podrás tomar muchas formas, pero con mi nieta no te... Sorry, I don't
You were
speak
doing
Spanish.
really well.
No te meterlas... Well, now it doesn't sound good. Largos de aquí, pero del infierno.
Okay, what does that mean?
You may take many forms, but you cannot have my granddaughter. Out of here, dog from hell. Badass. The dog and my
Wow.
grandma just stared at each other really intensely for maybe 10 seconds. It felt like hours due to the tension. And every year after that, something would happen to me. Things that were unexplainable, but I would just walk faster. I would pray. I would try to never be left alone. However, in 2016, all hell broke loose. I was walking with tennis shoes and I tore 3 ligaments on my right ankle. Walking. I was walking.
Like not even like twisted your ankle. You literally just were walking.
Yep. So I was on crutches and had a wheelchair for the remainder of my trip. One night my parents were going to go out and I asked them if they could bring me food before they left. For some reason, I ordered what my mom used to order from a food stand where my dad messed with the lady's daughter. My mom stopped eating there a while ago and I did too. But that night, for some reason, I was craving their gorditas. So my parents brought me my food, and on her way out, my mom asked if I was sure I wanted to eat that. I said, yeah. And then they both left. Around 2 a.m., I had a horrible stomachache. I went to the restroom and liquid was coming out of both sides.
Yikes.
My mom was arguing that I overate.
Well, because you want that to be what happened.
Right. But I told her I threw out most of the food anyway because it tasted weird. When she checked the trash, she found maggots mixed in with the food.
Oh, which they wouldn't just like show up that quickly.
Yeah. Yuck. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm like sick from this story.
This is just atrocious behavior all around.
Yeah.
People in your life and the things that are happening to you. Sorry. Just FYI, I knocked out for the following part, but this is what my mom told me happened. She said that during daybreak, I stood up, my eyes were completely white, and I threw up dirt. Shortly after, I started seizing and screaming that a shadow, la sombra, was suffocating me and that it whispered that it wanted me. My mom said she has never, ever heard me scream that way before, the way that I was screaming that day. My mom said I was twisting my torso into what she could only say looked painful and uncomfortable. She yelled at my dad to go get the phone to call my grandma, and she was crying, and that her sister and my dad needed to go collect my grandma. She said I was sweating, my body was cold, so she got holy water. She was throwing it all over my room. She grabbed all the crucifixes, she placed them on me, and when my grandma got here, she grabbed my mom, told her that she knew the prayer that she needed to say. My mom said she tried, but her tongue would ball up. My grandma asked for the rosary. She asked for some herbs. I forget the herbs names, but there was lemons and fresh chicken eggs too. My grandma started to cleanse me with the herbs, saying her prayers. And my mom says that at that point, I sat up, I yelled, and then I fell back down completely still. My dad hugged me and was crying, my baby, while my mom was yelling at him, this is your fault. This is because of your loose dick. If my daughter dies, it's your dick's fault.
I know that this is like a horrible like context of like everything that's happening, but I needed that that relief.
She said it in Spanish, which actually sounds super vulgar. My grandma grabbed my mom, told her not to become distracted, that they needed to both pray and cleanse me. After what seemed like an eternity, in my mom's words, she said I came to. I asked why my grandma was here. Up to date, I have no recollection of any of this happening. I only have my mom's story and what my grandma said happened too. However, my grandma told me that I needed to be careful who I ate from and where I walked to. She says my dad has pissed off a lot of ladies, and most of those ladies are known to do witchcraft.
So it's not even the vulture. It's not even just the vulture.
It's your dad's type. It's like her mom is the only one that's not. It's like deeply jealous woman rooted in witchcraft. And we're huge fans of witchcraft. We want to be baby witches.
There's
but
such
not
great ways to use witchcraft that is not harming other people.
No. My grandma says that she always prays for our safety, and that though I injured my leg, I was lucky that it wasn't the leg that was intended to be injured, or else it would have been way worse to the point where I would have maybe lost my leg. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
She also said that the food I ate was not meant for me. It was actually meant for my mom. And if my mom ate it, she would have been dead that night. But the summoned creature was promised a soul, so he left pretty unhappy. I think my pops learned his lesson.
Did he? Has he?
A writes, there has been a complete turnaround on how he treats my mom. I'm guessing that almost losing me gave him the scare he needed. I have so many more stories about my grandma and the female kin from my mom's side, but maybe another time. Keep up the good work. Love your podcast,
I'm so glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But geez,
Nothing could have prepared us for that.
No. Both of the stories that we've already read this episode have so many similar common themes that we've heard in previous stories from Mexico.
Yeah.
But they have the Mod Podge all together. I'm just going to keep using Mod Podge as a word. Sorry to those of you who don't like me using it. But
get into crafting more.
Yeah, we're getting into crafting, witchcrafting. But like that is everything and more than we've ever heard in just one story.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrific. And it is also really upsetting when it's like someone is from Mexico and they are trying to have their family in Mexico and their relatives are in Mexico. And it's like this horrible thing to want to go visit your family, but to know that like you are probably in immense danger if you do.
Like every time they went back.
Yeah. And it's like you think that you're in the clear because, I mean, her poor mom, like losing 2 infants.
I can't even.
And then being like, okay, well, I'm probably fine because like my child is older now.
Right. But it's still.
It doesn't matter.
Plaguing them. I feel like everyone listening knows how we feel about this. So I'm going to move on to something a little bit lighter, hopefully.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
This does have like some darker things, but there are some funny as well. This is from our listener, Sophia. And it is called La Llagona is outside my window. My local Walmart banned me. Hospital tunnel systems. And some girls try to do a seance while in the bathroom. So we got a mix here.
Oh, I like this. I'll give you one piece of rumor from my hometown.
Okay.
Apparently, Justin Bieber, when he was like 14 and came to play, he got kicked out of our Walmart.
Yeah, he came to play and Walmart said, no.
Yeah, preteens are going to preteen. Or I guess you're just a teenager then. But
I am so curious who's listening. How many people
have been kicked out of a Walmart?
No. How many people have like hung out in a Walmart parking lot? Because I remember there was a guy that I was somewhat interested in high school who had like went to a different school, but he was like, hey, like a couple of us are meeting up like out at the Walmart parking lot if you want to come hang. And I was like, what?
Oh.
But I think that that's like a common thing in certain areas. So
I think it like depends. Like we were the Best Buy parking lot. Like if anyone was like, if you're meeting up with people to like caravan somewhere or to like before you go to the movies or something. But that's like
but that's like a meetup spot to like go somewhere else. I meant like they would go and hang out
in the parking lot.
Yeah. So give us a woot woot if you have daddy issues, and give us a hey if you hung out at Walmart parking lots. Okay. Hey, what's happening? Okay, this is from Sophia. Good day, my ghostesses.
Good day.
You are on my speed dial on my email. As soon as I type T, you come in.
I love that.
Sophia says, not even my publisher is on speed dial. I love that.
Do you send us more drafts than you send them?
I know, right? Okay, so I was about to go to sleep after writing for about 2 hours when I went into my bed and I heard something crying outside, like the full-on sobbing of a woman. I live in the desert, so I said, hell no.
Yeah, nope.
Let's instead write an email and watch a sad movie to make myself cry to sleep. I truly believe La Llagona is trying to fight me as I stole her title the other day of having an extreme mental breakdown at 3 a.m. while wearing a Victorian-style nightgown. My hair was still in my face and in the study room, which echoes throughout the house. So I tried to look up what La Llagona is.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find a ton, but based on Sophia's description, it sounds like it's a story of like this woman who is a Victorian era spirit who cries and wails.
Okay. Well, we've heard about a lot of those.
Yes. Like crying lady in white, but from Mexico. Okay. So now my mom jokes around with me a lot by calling me La Llagona, even though she knows the full history and even grew up in Mexico. So this night when I hear the crying outside, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep sobbing watching a movie rather than going to sleep with adrenaline out of fear.
Which movie did you put on?
It was a movie about motherhood, apparently. I'm not sure.
One of the worst things that movie-wise that has happened to me was our friend Marissa, when I was traveling, she was like, oh, you have to watch, is it Love, Rosie or something like that?
I don't know. I haven't
or
seen
Dear Rosie. Oh my gosh, I'm bawling in public.
Okay, I don't even have kids. And last night I was watching Your Friends and Neighbors, the John Hamm show on Apple. And I think it's like episode 7 of season 1. He's in the car driving with his like grown children down to go see Princeton for the daughter. Like
your hometown.
My hometown. They literally like go to like a lot of the stores. They get Hoagie Haven and all this stuff. I was like, oh my God, I know this. But as they're driving down, the daughter is kind of like basically like being rude to him is like, what do you know about love? And like all of this stuff.
Mhm.
And he snaps at her and he's like, what do I know about love? I know love more than you'll ever know it until you have children, and what it's like to lose it when that little girl who used to hold my hand and look at me and love me endlessly starts to question me and hate me. And like, just, I was like, I'm not even a parent. And this, I mean, it was written so much better than
Oh
what I
my
just
God.
regurgitated. But it
What
was
a
like,
stab to the heart.
and I was like, I can't even imagine. When, like, yes, because like obviously there's a
Yeah.
natural pushback as you grow up as a child to like not want to be your parents' like
Mhm.
bestie, whatever, and like have independence. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
what heartache.
It's actually like a biological thing that people start rejecting their parents and their families. And it's because, you know, the reproductive
Yeah.
age is a lot younger and
Right.
than mentally people are prepared for. You're still a child. But biologically, it's to push people out to other families and other people to like avoid incest, essentially. It's like the way old.
So heartbreaking. I was like, man, that is so sad. Okay, so here's my second story. This is really random. So my local Walmart banned me because talking about remote viewing alone made people uncomfortable.
Oh.
She says, I accidentally talked to myself about my problems out loud, one being the fact that I can see remotely from human eyes and ghostly eyes. I've never been able to control it, and haunted places kill me since I have different perspectives that will flash in my head faster than running speed. So yeah, now I'm banned from my Walmart. I feel like you left a lot of details.
Yeah.
Did you work there? Were you just walking around Walmart speaking out loud about how you can see through dead people's eyes? Because I get that.
Yeah. I would maybe escort you outside too.
I'd be like,
and ask you like, are you okay? Should I call someone? Like,
yeah.
Who's a trusted person on your phone that I can place a call to?
Yeah, Sophia, we need some more information there. So I also found out the hospital I live right next to has a tunnel system, and the nuns built it because the hospital used to be like a ring. So it would like go around and they would go underneath to move through things. When I was at like a yard sale at this hospital, the security guard told me this story that apparently the nuns stopped using the tunnels, so they no longer had use for them, but they still needed a security guard to go down there to make sure no one was in there because it's Tucson and you never know who is where.
Mm-hmm.
So one night he got a call on his radio from a man patrolling the tunnel system. And when he got there, the man called and said, I'm not going down there. I heard some really freaky shit. Even the dog that usually helps patrol didn't want to go down there and seemed scared, tail tucked between its legs.
Trust your pets.
So the man is like, come on, it's just the pipes we need to check. So he tries to take the dog with him. Apparently, a few steps in, he hears banging, and the dog starts pulling back, barking. The man flashed his flashlight in, said, it's all good, and they both went back up. He explained that more stuff like that happened, and there's also been sightings of nuns at this hospital. But beyond that, I don't know much more. Okay, so now story 3. The girls in my school tried to summon something in the bathroom. So there I am eating lunch later than usual because I was working on math retakes. I hate math. Ugh. But I overheard the word summon something. So I overheard this group of girls and their plan. Their plan was to go to the bathroom and try to summon Bloody Mary, even though I had told them many, many times to not mess with that stuff.
Yeah.
So I listened to them talking about their plan, but I don't think much more of it. We go inside and it immediately starts raining. And I see these girls run to the bathroom. I continue doing my work, not thinking much of it. But then at some point, I realized I need to go wash my hands because they had an odd smelling sanitizer on them. So I step into the bathroom and I realize the lights are off. And then I hear them chanting Bloody Mary. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm going to be the one who gets haunted right now.
Yeah.
So I turn on the lights. And when I did, I swear that I saw what looked like the girl from The Ring flash right through the mirror.
Oh my gosh.
These girls all turned at me when I looked into the mirror, and my remote viewing was already going wild with all of those eyes. I wanted to scream, but instead I said in the most serious voice that I could make out, I said I don't mess with this stuff. We need to get out now. The other girls knew I was not joking, so they all got out. And my friend Kay, who knew I could remotely view, said, you saw something, didn't you? I nodded.
I'm pissed that no one else saw because I feel like that was a good lesson for those girls to be like, don't fuck around and find out.
They probably got scared.
Yeah.
I nodded and we didn't speak of it at all. Well, that's pretty much all the stories I got. But there is one little one, which this one's scary. So it's a typical Saturday morning at my house and the floors are wet with the scent of Fabuloso and mariachi music blasting from every speaker in the house. I'm sweeping when all of a sudden I hear my mom scream from her bathroom. I run over and I find her sitting over the toilet like she just threw up. I ask what was wrong. And she just pointed. I look into the toilet and see pure black vomit, like tar. She thinks that something evil was in her and she vomited it up. I think the same, but my dad didn't believe it until he saw the vomit. I love that they just like kept it in the toilet to show everyone.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's all. I'm going to watch a 2-hour movie on motherhood and cry to sleep even though I have school tomorrow. But I sleep through my breaks. So yeah, why sleep when you can write an email to your favorite podcasters? I hope your belly buttons stay clean. Love, Sophia Liz.
What an ending.
I hope our belly buttons stay clean too. I feel like I do like a yearly deep dive into my belly button and there's...
Get it squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Keep going until it like literally
deep.
Squeaks.
It's literally the depths.
Yeah. Sometimes Q-tips are involved. This feels like kind of like a blessing and a curse, the remote viewing, because it's like...
I know.
I feel like it gets like you don't get to have the same experiences as other people. Like you don't get to play fun Bloody Mary.
Right.
Because you actually see Bloody Mary. You don't get to just like cruise Walmart.
Right. Without getting kicked out.
You're talking in tongues.
I do want to know more about this because I feel like the concept of remote viewing, there's so many different aspects of it, but it sounds like Sophia is having multiple situations where she can like almost astral project remote view, but then she also can travel within a soul of another spirit and see through their eyes.
I wonder if she does, what is it called? Like dream walking too? Like if she can enter people's dreams.
Our next encounters, I tried to find stories like that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, I have a short story. This is called Mexico Farm Witch. Hi, Corinne and Sabrina. My name is Luna, and I have so many stories to tell you that my family members and I have experienced, but this is my only witch story, so I've separated this one from the others. When my mom was younger, she lived in Mexico, and she told me the story so many times, so I'll try my best to tell you both what she's told me. She says that once her and her mom and her newborn sibling visited family in their farmland in Mexico City.
Newborn?
Another newborn. The family was spending the night together, and she says the farm had 2 buildings. One was a common area, and the other was a bedroom space. Her newborn sibling and their newborn cousin were sleeping in the bedroom area, and she says her cousin's mom, her aunt, got up to check on the babies, and my mom held on to her skirt and followed along. My mom says that when her and her aunt went outside, there was this big ball of flames on the roof of the bedroom space.
Which in the first story we read, that's how the witches traveled.
The light. Her aunt immediately panicked and went inside and grabbed some scissors, letting everyone know that a witch was outside on the roof. She hurried out towards the bedroom space, and my mom told her to hold onto her skirt, rushing into the room. She says that her aunt then placed the scissors under the spot that the babies had been sleeping and grabbed the babies to keep them safe. When they went back outside, the ball of flames had leaped from the roof out into the field and then just disappeared. They went back out and towards the common area, and her aunt told everyone that once they come back inside, the witch had almost gotten the babies and said something in Spanish that roughly translated to, and sucked their souls out. I'm not really sure what happened after that or if the witch was ever seen again, but I do think that it's a crazy thing to have experienced as a child, and this is what happened to my mom. I just started listening to your podcast about a month ago. I'm so happy I found it. I've been looking for a platform to share my experiences with. Thanks, Luna.
Well, thank you for sharing with us, Luna. I am very curious. If anyone has more information, please share this with us. Why is it that there's so many stories of witches in Mexico coming for babies?
Right.
Like
what do they need?
Because I know there's
from them.
And this might be like a very American stereotype that has been spread through cinema and film, but like, is it the concept of like this like fresh new energy that like gives you vitality in life? Or is it something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Leave the babies alone.
Leave them alone. But I do feel like we got a trick from this, which is placing scissors underneath where the child is
that
sleeping.
Supposed to like harm them?
Well, I was thinking of it as like severing the tie that the witch had to them. But then also that feels dangerous too, because if the witch is known to remove the child from where they're sleeping and place them on the floor or something, like what if they are too close to the scissors? Like you can't put scissors down as a protection, right?
I don't know. I really don't understand it. I would love to know more. Someone help us understand the witches in the stories we've read today.
Yes.
Because I don't, and I want to, so that I can go over to them and be like, hey,
stop.
Don't touch us there.
That's our
baby squares. Well, if you loved these stories about Mexico hauntings, we actually have one extra story about Mexico hauntings that will be on our Patreon for you to listen to, so that you get a little extra if you would like. And we're going to do this kind of every other week, right? So it's twice a month. We'll pick an encounters that we have we're just like in love with the theme and the topic and have
just wanna
too
keep
many
doing
stories that we want
more.
to keep reading. And we will have an additional story available for everyone on Patreon in our highest tier, our second tier, the Only Phantoms. So go check out that on Patreon. But otherwise, please email us your stories at twogirlsoneghostpodcast@gmail.com. Please let us know what is going on with the witches in Mexico. The desperate desire to have empathy and understand human beings is aching. I need to know.
Yeah.
I want to understand.
Want to understand, but also happy to be seated right here and have not experienced that so far.
Agreed.
So blessings to everyone. Everyone stay safe and protected and not experience anything like the stories that we just heard about.
And like we said in the beginning, this community is really, really powerful. So if you do start to experience some really negative things, I highly recommend reaching out to the community and asking for some love and light, some positivity. And I think our community will come through for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you very much. Thank you to our editor, Jamie, to our producer, Emma. We're so grateful for all of your help.
And we will see you on the other side.
Very spooky.